Hello and welcome to the first episode of Moon Reptiles. Today we're going to be looking at the Sibon Nebulatus, or Nebulata, also known as the cloudy snail-eating snake. This snake comes from Central America and northern parts of the Amazon rainforest. It is a colubrid snake and from the Sibon genus, which is a family of snail-eating snakes. It generally comes in brown to grey colours with some white parts. I acquired this snake in mid-2017 at the Doncaster Reptile Expo. I had never heard of this snake before, but discovered it through a feeding video posted by the breeder. I quickly became intrigued by this snake, and after speaking to the breeder I decided to buy her. When I took her home and began to look after her, I had many more questions I had not realized to ask the breeder. He simply told me most of what he knew and had learnt through the care of this snake. When looking online, I found very little information about how to care for these snakes. And so this is why I decided to upload this video and show some information about how to care for these snakes. The Sibon Nebulatus, also known as the cloudy snail-eating snake, is a arboreal snake, and you can see this through the long, slender body, which is a lot higher off the ground, but a lot thinner when looking down from bird's eye view. Although arboreal, these snakes generally tend to stay on the ground, buried for most of their time. This could be underneath moss, rocks, soil, or dead wood found in the forest. However, as this snake is nocturnal, at night they come out to climb trees and scavenge for food. The most interesting thing about this snake is that it eats snails and also slugs. I generally feed my snake around once to twice a week. This could be between 1 to 4 snails per week. And the snakes usually vary in size, but generally the size of a head or less. And this is the size of the meat of the snail or the slug, not the size of the shell. She only eats live snails. I have tried to feed her canned snails that are meant for tegus, but she has just never shown any interest in them. When they eat their food, they will stalk their prey and pretend to act like a twig or a branch, following the snail as it moves at the same speed it moves at. As you can see, the snake is very slow. As these snakes come from the Amazon rainforest and Central America, these snakes require very high humidities, usually around 70 to 80%. This means that you have to spray her with a water spraying bottle at least once a day, and so that the soil is moist, so she can also shed her skin and bury in the ground. And temperature wise, these snakes can live very happily at room temperature around 20 to 30 degrees, usually around 20 to 25. That's 69 to 93 Fahrenheit. And they require no additional heating through a heat source such as a heat mat or heat lamps. Generally, when setting up an enclosure, you need to have lots of moss or loose soil on the ground. I found this helps for her to bury, but in addition, I also have added a hide, which she can easily bury under quite fast without her hide being destroyed. Then for nighttime, even as just security, these animals need a plant or a fake plant or some cork bark that they can climb in or they can hide behind so that they can try to stalk their prey. From speaking to the breeder and also just experience, I found this snake to be very calm and very tame. They are fine being handled, just they can be quite wriggly. So to give them security, you need to wrap the snake around your fingers, just to make it feel like it is secure in your hand and it won't fall off. I have never been bitten by this snake or seen her attempt to strike at me, The only time I've ever seen her open her mouth is when she's tried to eat some food. One of the lovely features of this snake is its slightly triangle-shaped head, which makes it have a viperous appearance. The rear of the head almost looks very jagged and pointy, but this is due to the fact that when they eat snails, they go inside the shell and then pull it out, using suction but also force. This snake's appearance is very different to a lot of other snakes in the reptile hobby, such as pythons and corn snakes. Just how the body's shaped and the head structure make it very unique and something very interesting to keep. From what I have found out from the breeder and some information online, I found that these snakes are seasonal breeders. This is generally between May to October, and then they will usually be very calm during the winter. But I'm not absolutely sure on this, so it would be something that someone would have to find out themselves through breeding. From research, I found that this snake is fairly common and in high abundance in Central America. This also goes for most of the other snakes in the Sibon genus, though there is very little information on them also. Another snake in the Sibon family, which I would love to own in the future, but probably will never see in my life, is the Sibon longifrenis, which is very, very similar in its structure, how it looks, and the care, but it has a red-greenish colour to it, and is very beautiful. As I am trying to show, this snake has a white stomach, or underside, and then black stripes which go down to the stomach. But when this snake is younger, it usually has more piano key-like appearance on its underside. As you might be able to see in this video, this snake has a iridescent shine to the top of the scales. This is more obvious in natural sunlight. And also the black areas on this snake aren't actually black, they are more of a very dark brown, and they can also be a lot lighter on other snakes of the same species. Coming to the end of this video now, I hope to have given some useful information on this snake, and if anyone has any questions, please comment them below. The snake that I showed you today is my girl named Hila. She is named after Hila Klein from H3 Productions. If you haven't seen that channel, you are missing out. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, comment, whatever, you know. And I hope to see you again. Thanks. Peace.